was born and raised in San Jose. Growing up, faith was very much like a cultural thing. I was baptized Catholic, got my first communion, but I had no idea what any of those things meant for me. We never talked about God. I really had no idea who God was or what God was. That really started to change for me when I was put in confirmation classes. So I was 14 and I was really just having a lot of questions about what a purpose of life was. I just was online looking at like Catholic teen resources and I ran into lifeteen.com. From there, I started to really start reading blog after blog after blog, watching every video. I was honestly really becoming catechized by Life Teen blogs. Despite all of the negative aspects of technology, I really grew my faith through technology. That was through finding lifeteen.com. I had never seen anything like Lifeteen. I never had really heard about God talked about in this way, in this personal way, in this way that was adventurous and exciting.
My brothers and my sisters, He wants you. He doesn't need you. He wants you. He desires you. And before He even desires for your teens to be disciples, He desires for you to be disciples.
I started really seeing God as personal, as loving, as following Christ was an adventure. So for the first time, I encountered young adults who were living out their faith, and I learned how to do that well through them. As I got to Life Teen Summer Camp, that was really when I think I'd say I had my really big encounter with the Lord. During adoration, it was really the first time I just felt so in love with the Lord, and I just felt the Lord really in love with me. And I think the Lord really put that moment into my life at a very perfect time because my sister had picked me up, and on our drive home, she started to get really nervous, and I started to notice something was wrong. She broke the news to me that while I was at summer camp, she got checked and she had lymphoma cancer. My sister and I are really, really close, so this really broke me. But at the same time, I had this assurance from God that the Lord was really gonna be with me during this time. Like me encountering the Lord in a really powerful way came at an absolute perfect timing. About 6 months after I came back from summer camp, my dad hadn't responding to any of his messages, and he was supposed to pick me up from school, and so he wasn't responding back. I came home and I found out my dad passed away. Out of the blue, and there was no sickness, he just had a heart attack and passed away. That was incredibly difficult, and especially dealing with my sister's sickness. I was really faced with a lot of hard questions of like, this is really difficult and I have no idea how to deal with this, and asking a lot of questions like, where is God in this? And then I kind of quickly came to the quick assumption like, oh, God doesn't love me or God doesn't exist. I had gone to Life Teen Leadership Conference in Kansas that following summer after my dad passed away. I was at the conference and I was just so frustrated. Spent the entire time absolutely frustrated. I was confused as to why I was even there. And I just was telling the Lord, I'm 17 and why should I have to deal with this? And why am I doing this alone? At that moment, one of the worship leaders, Ike Ndolo, had just stopped playing music. I remember this very well. I remember him saying, I honestly don't feel like worshiping. I don't honestly feel like playing music right now because my dad passed away, 4 months ago. And I'm gonna worship anyways because I love the Lord, even if it's terrible, even if I don't feel like it. When he said that, I just felt this God was just saying hey, you're not doing this alone. I'm here and I see you and I feel your pain. I just think the Lord was just so merciful to every single point in my life. I really feel that the Lord used Life Teen as an avenue to pursue me and for me to encounter Him. Kind of driving me into this direction. And so once I got to college, I was all right, I'm gonna use this time to get closer to God. So through every event, every conference that I went to, every conversation that I had with a youth minister, the Lord was just really pursuing me through that. I think because Life Teen is so relational, I think that's a complete embodiment of what relational ministry looks like.
Life Teen is one of the tools that God has chosen to draw young people into a deeper relationship with Him. Teenagers have a lot of inauthentic encounters, and Life Teen is trying to have a genuine encounter really in just loving the teenager before evangelizing them.
I've seen transformations for the last 20 years. What Life Teen said is, we're home, our doors are open, this place is safe.
Everything that I experienced, I had Life Teen Youth Ministers meeting with me, asking me how I was doing constantly. They were the ones who were talking me through after my dad passed away, supporting me. And so I could see very well how this model works because I've seen it work for myself.
I think when the dust settles on our culture, our young people are always left wanting more. And so for me, what I see is a rejuvenation of the church.
They're meeting teens exactly where they are and where they want to be. So if teenagers online, then they're going to meet them online.
What I love most about how we're trying to reclaim culture is that we're casting a big net, where we're constantly adapting, constantly changing, constantly transforming, constantly realigning our teams and developing new strategies and trying new things. I believe we're translators. We can translate a timeless truth in a timely way.
That the cultural references and the way that we unpack the very difficult issues are done in such a relevant way. How does this gospel, how does this teaching of the church relate to me as a young person today?
Instead of saying, hey, teens, come to us, they're really coming to teenagers and saying, hey, we'll meet you where you're at. Wherever you are, let's just walk together in a company. So I think that's what's really exciting about Life Teen, is that they're always striving for excellence in everything they do. It really, really shows.